We're a year on since the release of West Coast Mainline South for TSW5 London Euston to Milton Keynes, so I've had a good time to reflect on this DLC. It remains the route that I go to the most, and you'll have seen that from my live stream and videos. Whilst we can all argue, and we hoped that it might have gone on further than Milton Keynes, it's still a good chunk of a route with plenty of variety. Some of the scenery is so realistic. London Euston may be something of a monstrosity in real life, with a fairly drab 1960s structure which has never been described by anyone as beautiful, but this is a superb recreation. Even the concourse is faithfully built, and the newer mezzanine floor, a slight shame that we don't have the timetable screens, and that big display hasn't been modelled, which is something that you would expect to see. Also lacking in passengers, but with all the mods I have installed, I can't remember if it is a mod that's caused there to be no passengers, but even as it was originally, passenger numbers were quite scarce. Maybe DTG were worried about crashing the game entirely. Those three apartment blocks towering over the station are accurately modelled with their correctly coloured tops. So too the Camden Roundhouse. It was built originally to house a turntable for the purpose of turning steam engines. Now I think it's a music venue. The lines out of Euston to the tunnels at Primrose Hill are complex and on differing levels, so a different route in and out of the station is often a feature. I was also hugely delighted to see the Alexandra Road estate flats properly built in Camden. I first started to notice this from the train many years ago. I thought it was the side of some sort of sports stadium, but now aware that it was done for sound protection purposes, and to see this built into the game is nothing short of amazing, particularly as you only get a glance at this as you pass them by. Then you have the massive freight yards around Wcml and Wembley, with Wembley Stadium close by and the North London line. The section around Watford Junction signals the end to the London Overground part. Much more countrified as you head north, and perhaps a highlight is Berkhamsted, complete with a river and canal contained on a tight bend. The yards around Bletchley offering expansive lands for empty carriage stock, and historically was a massive freight yard. Milton Keynes Central offers a glimpse into the world of the new towns as constructed in the late 1960s, although the station only came into being in the early 1980s. But aside from being the busiest line in the game, you'll get plenty of variety. The Class 350 with non-stop runs to Milton Keynes, semi-fasts, and virtually all station services to Tring. London Overground with all stations from Euston to Watford Junction. If you're using the default timetable, then essentially the Class 710, so too with the Forks timetable, but particularly with the OTS 2019 timetable, you can take the Class 378 out for a spin. Avanti West Coast Pendolino services to Milton Keynes, both non-stop and calling at Watford Junction. And an absolute plethora of freight services. Just a massive shout out to the modders too, and available to PC users only, both the Forks timetable and the team for the enhanced scenery and the improved timetables, and the fantastic 2019 timetable from OTS looking at the latter days of Virgin West Coast. This remains a fantastic route, and I've left out the boring bits, but we'll leave you with some movements just north of Wembley Central. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. I'd be grateful if you consider doing that if you've enjoyed the video. But for now, from Powerflower, it's goodbye, and keep enjoying train simulation. Bye.